What's more selfish than making your mother cry the night she kills herself? You would think that a long line of selfishness would end there, but it's infectious. And getting used to it even once will allow you to ease back into it the next time you're given a chance. We're going to uncover how selfless growth and community are natural keys to success, and how it can take you further than you've ever imagined. Now, Oxford Languages defines selfishness as a person, action, or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Now, we talk about selfish like it's a negative connotation, but it's not always a bad motivator. Sometimes we deserve to be selfish. But that's where it becomes infectious. You get lost in this feeling of getting what you're owed, and that line between right and wrong is blurred. Blurred between your vision to get what's right for you, even if it's wrong for others. So at 16, I began studying at a magnet program to pursue a life in theater and one day end up on stage as I am with you right now. I was young, hungry, dedicated, and very selfish. All I really wanted was to succeed at fitting in like everyone around me. You see, from a middle school history of being bullied every day, I felt I was owed a perfect high school life. This is the first time I fell under the trap of feeling pitifully owed an easy future because of everything that had happened to me up to that point. Now, DoSomething.org says that 1 in 5 students ages 12 through 18 in the United States will be bullied. National studies show that 12% of the kids that even make it to high school are going to drop out. So how many people just like me or just like you listening already went into high school making selfish decisions to buy back your happiness, a positive self-image, and get yourself closer to your definition of success? As most young, naive teenagers do, I began to push my family aside as I strived for happiness in my high school life. And that led me to make the most unforgettably selfish decision of my life. My mother, a beautiful and caring woman who valued her time with me more than I could ever appreciate as a teen, was in a state of depression, begging me to stay home. Now, I planned to go stay the night at a girlfriend's house, inconsiderate of her feelings and her mental state. She asked me to stay, and I looked into her eyes as I told her she was exaggerating. Mom, you always do this. Are we really going to do this today? You're going to see me tomorrow. I walk out that door, and she overdoses that night. An overdose from a woman I never even knew had a pill addiction. There was no "I'm sorry, I love you" didn't even cross my mind as I closed that door. And here I am falling into a cycle of believing maybe this could have been avoided if I found more value in family time than social status. But that's just me beating myself up, okay? A study by Visit Anaheim clearly explains that families with school-aged children spend as little as 40 minutes a day with each other. 40 minutes a day. Only increasing to 3 hours on the weekends. That did not help me. I fell right back under that same trap of feeling pitifully owed an easy future because I lost my mom at 16. So I get cast as my first lead role in a production of Taming of the Shrew at the Las Vegas Academy, and I begin ruining this production. I'm skipping memorization, choosing not to go on stage, hiding behind sunglasses. A woman named Melissa Lilly, the director of our show and one of the most amazing women to grace my life, sat me down. She looked me in my eyes and said, I know that this is hard. I know. But the show must go on. And if you can't do this, you need to tell me now, because the people in there, they're depending on you. My God, I had never imagined that a single person was depending on me. I'm so busy sulking in my wrongs that I'm still doing wrong. I cried. I picked up that script. I marched right into that room and I acted. I acted for weeks. We finished the show and that final curtain closes and I made my ultimate realization. Selflessness and community are natural keys to success. My cast unintentionally saved my life while I put them on my shoulders. Let me tell you, if community can take a 16-year-old boy from the brink of suicide to riding a fake broomstick like a horse while rocking spandex, anything was possible. Okay? Anything. This beautiful quote from Okawa Books explains that success without love is not genuine. If your success is only for yourself, your achievements will be limited to the tiny framework of you as an individual. If your success is for others, your achievements will increase in value and exert influence 1,000 times more than that of individual success. So we're all here and this lesson sounds really clear. But if we rewind, the only thing that was clear to me at this time was I was young, naive, still depressed, and newly 17. So I moved to LA to start a life of my own. Shortly after starting college, I was introduced to the rule of 7, which is an old marketing technique that describes a consumer will only trust you enough to buy from you when they've seen your brand 7 times. What did not click in my head at this time was this is more than marketing. It's long-term memorization of skills, lessons, ideas, repetition, and that idea that selflessness and community were my keys to success had not sunken in yet. So I moved to LA with the same girl I was with the night my mother passed. And she became the reason I was terminated from college. My last attempt at formal education. I selfishly invited my puppy love into a classroom knowing my community had issues, knowing that there was a chance of altercation. I caused a fight I did not care to admit was my fault. I didn't put my class first. I did not put my community first. And I was terminated from school 1 hour later. I failed again. I quit my job at an award-winning prestigious editing firm in Santa Monica, and I lost my home. I lost half my clothes. I lost every piece of furniture, every pot, every pan. I ended up back on my father's couch in Vegas, and then I ended on my cousin's couch. This rule of 7 became quite apparent. I was choosing to ignore the lessons that came from my mother's passing, and through that constant repetition of failure, it finally clicked. I needed help. So I started a company with a longtime friend and started chasing a dream with someone else. We saved thousands of dollars of our own hard-earned cash and funded our first short film, Daddy Loves Me, paying a cast of 3 people, and screening at a local theater with a line outside the door. It just started to happen seamlessly. Maybe because for once I wasn't chasing something for myself and my ego and who I wanted to be. And I once again had someone depending on me and who they needed me to be for my community. So this led to us creating and raising $50,000 for our debut horror feature film, Home, which paid a cast and crew of 20 people, paid for all travel and housing expenses, traveled outside of the country, winning awards in Europe, and ending on Amazon Prime. Now, here's the thing about Home. Home wasn't about me, it wasn't for me, and it definitely wasn't for my business partner. It was about the people that came together to make the movie. If it wasn't for anybody that took part from its inception when I wrote it 2 years before we shot it till its final day at its final screening at festivals, it wouldn't have happened. Home was about the community, and that's why it succeeded. So you can see this excitement building in me, and I have this excitement of community brewing, and I want to give back. So I create a show that is by the community, for the community. A selfless show that puts me in the back burner and 13 people a month at the forefront to market to our friends and our fans while we market to theirs. My story is repetitive. It's constant failure. But I've only learned because of it. Selfishness is infectious. And selflessness with community are natural keys to success. Now, it doesn't matter what your definition of success is. If your success is money, then you'll be happy to know selfless people make higher salaries than those that are selfish, proven in a study by Stockholm University. Now, if money isn't even on your mind, and happiness is at the forefront of your success, then let's please toast to the late, great Bob Marley when once asked about his riches, I do not have that kind of richness. My richness is life. Never be afraid to love and help someone grow in your community, because one day it will come back through the power of selfless love. Thank you.